Welcome to Vision ProNotes for October 29th, 2025. I'm Marty Gensius, a faculty member, podcaster, and Apple enthusiast, co-hosting Vision Profiles with Eric Bolden, Dave Ginsberg, and Daniel Burkholder on Monday nights. These brief ProNotes drop in between our weekly Vision Profiles episodes that happen Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And highlight some of the breaking news or concepts that people are talking about during the week regarding Vision Pro and other types of augmented reality and virtual reality headsets. You can generally catch us either on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday mornings with a ProNote. But again, our live stream is youtube.com/@visionprofiles, Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also replay us on YouTube or your favorite podcast app if you just want the audio version of the show. So today's topic, Apple Vision Pro personas. And CNET sat down with Apple to explore the evolution of personas, the Visual Pro's digital representation of users, and what it means for our sense of presence in virtual communication, or telepresence in some ways. This comes from an article in CNET. We'll have the link in the show notes. Apple Vision Pro's best feature is an incredible realistic avatar, with the link so you can go back and look at the article. So why does it matter? This last week, Apple came out with their M5 version of the headset, and at the same time, Samsung came out with their Galaxy XR headset. And each of them have different focus on what personas or avatars should look like. I would say, and you can search this on the internet and you'll see comparisons of the two. Currently, the status of the persona with, or the avatar with the Galaxy XR is more of similar what you see in the Meta versions. They are cartoonish characters. Cartoonish is being too cruel when I say that, but more simulated character cartoon figures instead of drawn from real aspects of the self. Now, you can, with the Galaxy XR, scan and generate a avatar that looks closer to you than the default avatars that are available. I haven't done that yet, but I've seen some video where people have done it, and they're pretty good, but they're still avatars. They have interesting facial expressions that it follows that sort of tracking, versus the personas that have been part of Apple's mainstay with it, which are really more photorealistic of what you are and your presence in that way. So it's interesting. I would say check some of those articles or those. I saw some of it on Reddit, and other people are comparing both of these. And the CNET article, though, pretty much focuses on the development of Apple's persona and where it is right now. So it's a great article, rather extensive, done by Scott Stein, and done today. And it, talks a little bit about the background of personas and the M5 vision and how the personas have changed from the first rendition of the software to now into visionOS 26. And they seem a little weird and can seem a little weird because they're disconnected to bodies. But supposedly that is part of the future development of personas with Apple. So again, I would encourage you to take a look at this article that I'm kind of scrolling through in the video. And this includes, some great quotes and some good understanding about it. And it talks about the future and what it could mean in the sense of identity. So human connection is real important in spatial computing. Apple positions personas as the emotional bridge that makes virtual meetings feel rather human. There is a sense of evolving authenticity. The company views realistic avatars as central to genuine eye contact and emotional cues for remote interactions. Now, remember when these first came out, there was a lot of problems, or should I say, a lot of complaints about what personas really look like. They've gotten better and better. I don't pay that much attention to personas. The people that I know that are engaged in this, like Eric, who's on Visual Profiles with me, really does pay attention to personas and the importance of personas in it. I do mine and I create mine kind of reluctantly, but the idea that it is a photorealistic version of who I am, and it can capture some of my facial and eye expressions and my hand movements when I talk. That's all very important in creating some evolving authenticity in a realistic kind of avatar. This is a digital identity frontier that's going on right now. We're approaching an era where 3D likenesses becomes your virtual self, and people will focus more and more on them as part of what is important to them. So I think Apple's really on the cutting edge. Now, what I hear is Galaxy XR is planning on making something like personas or persona-like avatars in the future, just not in this first release, but with software advancements, they're going to be trying to mimic similar to what Apple does with the Vision Pro. It creates a sense of accessibility and inclusion, and particularly for seniors, it helps them with an improved telepresence that may extend to social work and family connections. So telepresence is the word here, the sense that you're able to communicate a sense of who you are. So the more accurate the personas, the more you get a virtual presence or a telepresence with people around you. Personas are created by scanning your face and producing this realistic 3D model. That's gotten better. I have not yet done it with the M5, but I have done it with the current software. Supposedly it's easier on the M5 version of the Vision Pro. And Apple designers constantly are looking for ongoing refinement like skin tone rendering, micro expressions, and lighting fidelity, so the lighting captures you correctly, and then eye contact realism as it happens. And as a result, users report the experience feels more like a mutual presence. And that's in the sense that I can be in the same room with someone instead of, like in a Zoom call where you're seeing my room and I'm seeing your room. With personas and with a meeting in the same space, I can be in the same room and there's more of a sense of mutual presence. If you've ever tried InSpace, which is an app, with your full persona, you'll get what I mean when I say there's a sense of mutual presence. There's kind of this, oh wow, sitting in the same room with someone and being able to be in the same space is real important. Apple engineers describe personas as version 1 with a long road toward lifelike digital embodiment. Updates will include group calls that you can do with your personas, shared spatial environments, and again, some of those already exist, and third-party app APIs for a sense of telepresence. So for users, there's this enhanced realism that occurs in a FaceTime on Vision Pro. There's also new environmental lighting controls that you can do with them, improving how your persona appears in various spaces. And there's more expressions and facial tracking that's going on. Subtle smiles, eyebrow movements, hand gestures, those kinds of things. For developer, the toolkits are going to expand to include frameworks for integrating personas into shared space apps. This is going to be really helpful for education, telehealth, and other types of remote work if our personas can meet in the same space. And then also the opportunity to craft presence-aware UXs, blending voice, gesture, and emotional cues. This is what developers will be able to work with. Now, for educators, I'm an educator, potential for authentic tele-instruction or therapy. And I happen to teach counseling. So the therapy simulations using near real avatars seem like an exciting potential for educators, professionals, and in my case, counselors. Now, however, it raises some ethical questions around representation. Who is really there in the sense of, is it your avatar? Is it you driving your avatar? The idea of consent in these types of, using these types of platforms to do things like counseling or therapy, and then identity accuracy as part of it. Again, the big comparison here is Meta, if we go to that, they're really very much caricatures at this point. And they're caricatures from the waist up. And frankly, personas aren't that further along, aren't any further along than that. But Meta's avatars feel kind of skewed and stylized. Apple's really pushing for the hyper-realistic. And so far, Galaxy seems kind of a blend of the two. It's using information about you, but still generating it on a pattern of sort of a stylized avatar that you can adjust and create and mold the way you want it to be based on the information that you've given it. And in the future, more photorealistic avatars or personas are what they say Galaxy is headed for. Apple argues that realism fosters empathy. So they have always come down on that end. And that's why we still have the eyesight kind of thing. You'd see it looking into somebody's eyes while they have a headset on still provides you with a sense of empathy and fosters that. It's really a subtle kind of differentiation between what Apple does and what other device creators do. That the realism and the photorealism, as it gets better, it's less uncanny and it feels more realistic and fosters that kind of empathy. Also, there's a generational impact. Older users may benefit the most because they can, at a distance, get a real sense of their grandchildren or their children using devices. Seeing loved ones in a 3D space is really exciting instead of screens that kind of are flat. And this opportunity could redefine digital intimacy. So takeaways, Apple continues to invest heavily in virtual authenticity. Expect Personas 2.0 by next year. Telepresence isn't just a business tool. It's shaping the social fabric of how we meet, teach, and connect online. And watch for developer frameworks that extend personas beyond just the FaceTime connection in doing it. So that's all very cool stuff. Again, this comes from an article that was in CNET. We will have the link in the show notes. And the article was Apple Vision Pro's best feature is an incredible realistic avatar. So look for that in the show notes and go back to the article. Give the guy who wrote it some love in the sense that it's a good article and it raises some very interesting concepts. You can contact me and the rest of the Vision Profiles folks at the PodTalk Network at gmail.com. That's our email. Our website is thepodtalk.net, where you can find out about Vision Profiles and other podcasts and projects that I'm doing. And of course, the YouTube channel is youtube.com at Vision Profiles if you want to watch the live stream on Monday night, or you want to check out some of the past streams. All the video is stored there for you to take a look at. So thanks for listening to this ProNote, and hope to see you around. I mean, see your persona around.